Our next step is to choose a primary key for each table. And to do this, we can add an ID field unless there is a key or an attribute that we want to use. So let's take a look at our class diagram. We have person. We take a look at their attributes. We see that they have a W number. This is a prime candidate to be the primary key. The rest of these, let's see, office, there are no good candidates to be primary keys. Same with student. Oh, these are inherited. Okay, so these will actually have the same primary key as a person. So you do have to take that into consideration when working with inheritance. You will use the same primary keys. Okay, so those ones will just use whatever the person has. So that would be a W number, right? A student has a W number, and so does faculty. Section, we have a bunch of attributes to choose from. CRN, that is actually what our school uses for the primary key in their database for each section. And this is unique to every section. So every section is going to have a CRN, and it's different than any other section that ever existed. So we use CRN as our primary key. Here we have course, and there's really no primary key that we could use because even course numbers, so say we had 1410 as a course, there's going to be lots of other courses throughout the years called 1410. So that's not unique. That would be a record that's not unique. So we would need to create an ID for this. We would say course ID. And office, same thing. I would just create an office number. You could do room number, but what happens if we are in a different building? You could do a combination between building and room number. But I just like to make things simple and add an ID field when we're doing this. So I would just come over here to my course registration database table diagramming page and add a foreign key. So notice we have PK here on the left side. That stands for primary key. And we decided W number was going to be the primary key for person. And faculty and student, remember these inherit from person, so they're actually going to have the same primary key for themselves as their parent class does. So parent class had W number, that means we will have W number for student and faculty. Office is going to have its own unique key, so I'm just going to choose office underscore ID. Section, we had CRN. This was an attribute that we already had. Remember, we talked about this. It's an attribute they already had, so as long as it's unique, you can use that attribute. Course did not have one, so we're just going to come up with one. Usually you would just use the class name and then you'd say ID. So there we go. We have officially completed step 2.